Okay.
Alright, we did Chapter 7, which was high school and youth sports. I'm Kyle Rohrbacher.
And I'm Ryan Crofts.
For the history of high school and youth sports, it first began to be organized in sport in the early 1800s, and Horace Mann was the one who started it. And private schools were the first ones to provide participation opportunities towards students. And then in the beginning of the 20th century, the progressive movement helped to increase athletic participation in schools around the nation. And the YMCA is the most prominent non-school agency to emerge, and it was founded in 1844. The Great Depression also caused government to involve themselves with sports because private industries could no longer keep up with it all.
The governing bodies create and maintain the rules and coordinate the athletic events. And the NFHS, which actually stands for National Federation of State High School Associations, serves as the national coordinator for high school sports and other recreational activities. We're actually going to touch on that later in the presentation. State associations such as the OHSAA have a direct role in organizing state championship events and have final say in determining athletic eligibility. Little League Baseball is the most well-known National Youth League organization, which was founded in 1930. Career opportunities. Youth League directors sometimes perform duties entirely voluntary, which means they're not paid. We're also going to be touching more on that later in the presentation. School athletic directors have less direct involvement with athletes than coaches do because coaches deal with players on a daily basis. Major responsibilities include risk management, insurance, employment, sexual harassment, gender, equity, and fundraising. Coaches have pressure to perform successfully and usually work long time, irregular hours for little or no pay at the high school level. Trainers and physical therapists are a critical asset for school and youth operations to keep players healthy, and officials and judges are hired by the schools.
The key principles that you should be able to know and be able to deal with when working in high school and youth sports include achieving programmatic goals, so you improve the program over time. Coaches need to be able to evaluate and supervise the performance of their athletes, so they're not only just trying to make them better as an athlete, but overall as a person. And then athletic directors need to be able to evaluate their coaches because they're the ones evaluating the athletes. And then you should be able to keep your organization financially sound and stable. And then you need to market programs in order to expand participation, and also it will just provide more opportunities for your program in the future. And you should, one of the big deals that we'll touch on later in our presentation is preventing the use of illegal substances. And you also must be able to enforce all the rules and code of conduct that are set into place. The National Council has one representative from each state, provincial or territorial association. Administration responsibilities fall on 12-member board of directors, and the National Interscholastic Athletic Administration Association, or the NIAAA, has 5,000 individuals that are members of it. And then the NFHS Coaches Association is comprised of 30,000 coaches, and the NFHS Officials Association has over 130,000 members. And then there's also the NFHS Spirit Association.
Most decisions, as we mentioned before, are made by school districts. However, the governing bodies that we discussed ensure championships, coordination of athletic eligibility, certification programs, and the NFHS is a non-profit organization. It coordinates as well as high school sports, theater, music, student council, and there's more than over 11 million participants spanning over 19,000 high schools. The NFHS organization actually headquarters is in Indianapolis, Indiana. School athletic director has many responsibilities of their job. It's very high octane, shall we say, with athletic programs, basically in charge of everything. Hiring and supervising, evaluating coaches, coordinating contest management, including hiring and payment of officials and event staff, which would include if there were fundraisers, setting departmental legal training and disciplinary policies, determining departmental league budgets, overseeing all fundraisers, determining and verifying game schedules, as well as many more. As we discussed before, youth league directors have many of the same job requirements and responsibilities that athletic directors do, however, are very rarely paid.
The challenging issues we chose to focus upon had to do with preventing the use of performance-enhancing drugs and substances within high school and youth athletes. And the use of substances is a concern because of the health risks it implies on the young athletes, and also you gain an unfair advantage over the competition who don't use these substances. Efforts are being made to test and detect the use of these substances in athletes, especially in high school. But testing is expensive and scattered, it's often random, and it's not really doing as much as it should be. And funding from the 2004 Federal Antibiotic Steroid Control Act is planned to be used to increase education to deal with these ethical challenges. So instead of spending money on testing on drugs, they want to educate the young people to understand the kind of troubles they can get themselves into just by taking them, not only health-wise, but legally, they might not be able to play anymore if they're caught. However, none of the money yet has been available for use, which makes this an ongoing issue. For my career application, I thought this chapter was useful because although I'm not going to be majoring in the sports management field, I would like to coach at some point in my life. Hopefully, when I'm older and at the right point in my life, I will help coach the Perkins track team, which is the school I graduated from. And in order to be successful as a high school coach, I will need to develop the skills discussed in this chapter.
Unlike my partner here, I am a sports management major, and I'd like to get into professional baseball. However, it's a very competitive field to get into, and along the way I might have to, say, get on a few stepping stones. And a high school athletics program would be a great place to start to put on a resume if I were to shadow an athletic director or have an internship, just to learn the ins and outs, ups and downs of running a sports program. So that's how it could pertain to me.